Hello, everybody. Good morning. Come on in. We'll make you laugh. We don't bite. Yet. Should we get going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's do it. I'd like to introduce Ryan Ostrom, who's the CMO EVP of Jack in the Box, with me here today. I'm Rachel Wintner on the brand partnerships team at OUTFRONT Media. Shh, thank you. And we are the largest, most premium out-of-home company in the U.S., helping brands to really cement their place in culture. So hit me up if you need any info. And today we're going to really talk about principles in marketing and leadership and innovation. Ryan, you want to tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, I'll kind of get started. Last night was actually a bad sales day for Jack because of the time zone. We lost an hour of sales. I watched it happen, jump from 2 to 3, so those hours won't come back. I've been very fortunate. I've worked at brands such as Purina, Sears, GNC, KFC, and most recently now I'm at Jack in the Box, and love this brand. I grew up on this brand, and I think that's really key when you look at careers and what you want to do is really believe in the brand you work on and live it, and I think it makes work very easy. So, is that the first question or just?
That was just your intro,
That's my intro.
But we can jump right into sort of all of that experience that, as you've come onto the brand. Jack in the Box was the QSR Transformative Brand of the Year last year, so congrats to you and your team. How have you taken those collective experiences to drive and infuse your leadership values into Jack in the Box around all this success, growth, and transformation?
Yeah, we were the transformational brand of the year, and for QSR, and some people think that means we do cool stuff. I'll tell you the biggest thing for any brand to do is go back to the 101s. So we really sat down, we looked at what do we stand for, what are our values, what are the things we own. We own late night, we own variety. If you don't know Jack in the Box, by the way, we're really late night. We're also, you can get dinner for breakfast, breakfast for dinner. You can customize anything. We have no rules. And so we kind of started really living those values, but it was also going back to what we stand for as a brand. And the first thing we also did was rebrand our internal strategy. And so we came up with the CRAVE strategy, which is all about being cultural, relevant, authentic, visible, easy, and distinctive. So everything we do, we put against that barometer of, is it craved? And that means our uniforms, how our associates are in the store, to our marketing, to how we do social. Everything we kind of went against that because it's about, not only are we culturally relevant, but you want to stand out, you want to be visible, you want to be authentic to who you are. By really executing against that, we set a foundation to be a transformational brand. You can't accelerate and do some of the cool stuff we'll probably share in a little bit without actually knowing where you're at first.
And so in that reset, you've obviously been able to, drive the transformation and enforce who you are as the brand. And I think one of the cool things about Jack in the Box as an observer in California, since they're everywhere, is that you really are a challenger brand in this space, but not all brands, get that badge of honor. So, you guys continue to surprise and delight consumers. And we've seen a real up-leveling in your celebrity partnerships and, brand triangulations. Take us on that journey.
Yeah, it goes back to trying to be cultural relevant. And as we looked at partnering with individuals, redoing the brand, and kind of doing the cool stuff, once we actually did the 101, we just want to be as authentic as possible. And so you'll see in a second, we'll play a little video, but we've done amazing partnerships with Ryan Reynolds. We just rolled out. And by the way, I can't afford Ryan Reynolds. Like my brand, we're not McDonald's. We're the tiny guys, and we figure out a way to partner with him in a way that was very cost effective. We bought the largest billboard in LA across from McDonald's, and basically the whole billboard was talking crap about McDonald's. We go after everybody. We don't put kid gloves on. We say it like it is, and it comes through on everything we kind of do and execute. So I'll kind of show a video, which will kind of give you an example of some of the work we've done.
How How in the world did Mint Mobile and Jack in the Box get together to make a milkshake? Sit down, it's a long story.
I'm bringing back my spicy chicken strips, and while I'm at it, my most popular former employee, Mark Hamill.
What's my motivation?
To not get fired again.
Let's do this.
Okay?
Here's your order. Thank you for choosing Jack in the Box.
You are Mark Hamill.
I'm Amy.
Well, you look like him.
I've seen literally all of your movies.
Let's do a selfie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh my God, the power of that drink.
Who let me buy the world's largest billboard? And do this.
I would also like to apologize for Taco Bell's breakfast, since it's only served until 11 a.m.
Trees, 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 have roots and trunks and leaves. Trees, 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 have buds and fruits and seeds. Trees, 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 a home for birds and bees. We all need our trees, trees, trees.
See, my head is so big, they call me Jack in the Box.
I have to explain the trees thing. That was 420s for every time there was a Pineapple Express shake, air quotes, was bought, we donated a tree. My franchisees did not realize that we were playing with words the entire time, and it became like a big weed video without my franchisees knowing that, but it worked really well. So that's just, we're true to who we are. We're not going to be shy away from it. I think that's one thing that's really made us a transformational brand too, is we know who we are. I think a lot of brands shy away, and I have a lot of franchisees who are like, oh, we should go after kids. We should go after new moms. And I'm like, guys, majority of our sales are after 10 o'clock at night. Like, I don't know how I'm going to transform that brand to just be who we are. And then we'll figure out some initiatives to go after different consumer segments. But we can't do that until we own the consumer segment that we truly own versus the competition.
So talk to us, all of this, being very much sort of in the limelight, but there's a lot that obviously goes on behind the scenes as, leadership and innovation is concerned within your role. Tell us about some of the stuff that, we're not seeing.
Yeah, one thing people don't know about Jack in the Box, so we are a house of innovation too. We've always been, you mentioned Underdog. We were the first one to have a speaker box, two-way intercom. We invented that. So we basically we didn't invent the drive-through, we invented the speaker box that actually made the drive-through work. We invented the first QSR salad. We invented the first breakfast sandwich. So we've been around for 72 years. We invented a lot of things that kind of have defined the QSR industry, and we're still trying to do that behind the scenes. I was on a panel with KFC yesterday, and we're all working on the same thing with, how do you automate your restaurants? We have Flippy and Sippy and these weird names that really do cool stuff. But when labor starts getting to the high rate it is, we have to figure out a way that automate it. And so for us, we're looking at a lot of those technologies. We're also looking at, we just bought Del Taco. And a lot of people might be like, why did you buy Del Taco? In the world that we live in today, a single brand, it is very difficult to invest in technologies and e-com and digital. The long-term play is being able to negotiate with the third parties to be able to leverage platforms across brands. That's why you see Yum Brands, Focus Brand, and Inspire Brands. They all have 8 to 10 brands under their umbrella. They're leveraging the behind the scenes that people don't see, the infrastructures to reduce costs and make the business more profitable. So, are we done buying brands? Not even close. Are we anytime soon? No. We're still integrating Del and what they stand for, which is an amazing brand. If you haven't been to Del Taco, how do I describe them? They're way better than Taco Bell. If there are any Taco Bell people here, I'm sorry. They're they actually cook their chicken. It's actually fresh avocado. So they're like a Chipotle, but affordable. So it's kind of how I think about Del Taco. So if you're in California, try Del Taco, try our brand. They're both great brands.
Indeed. So future forward, where do you see the white space for the brand?
I'm going to say the buzzword that everybody's saying this weekend, AI, is, I actually think that's people talk about metaverse, people talk about NFTs, they talk about that. I'm struggling with how that actually drives sales in the current environment. AI is transforming how fast we get data. So even how we take our customer data, how it synthesizes that data before we get insights. How do we automate our drive-through? So removing the person from the order for you just talk to your drive-through. We have a bunch of tests working there. I think the ability for someone else to do the thinking like AI is key. And so we're trying to find all different places that can be embedded within our daily business to make us either move faster or quicker, because that's what we are, we're convenience. So the more fast we go, the more convenient we are, the better the guest experience. And so everything kind of is built towards that.
And one last question, we'll take a few before you have to run to the airport. Talk to us a little bit about, outside of AI, what are you seeing out there in the space that, piques your interest? The one you hated. All right.
I hate this question. No, I think it kind of summarizes a lot of what I talked about, that I see a lot of brands kind of swinging back to brand marketing a little bit. I talked about this yesterday on a panel. SOBO, sales overnight, brand over time. I think a lot of marketers have gone so performance, so sales overnight, that they haven't defined who their brand is. What does your company stand for? My performance marketing works 100 times better when I am talking about who my brand is and what it stands for. So, for example, our marketing, I switch it on late night. We're partnering out of home. How do we start after 10 o'clock? We take over cities. We take over billboards. We take over Uber. Your screens, like we own after 10 o'clock. And by doing that, like understanding who we are, it's transforming how we communicate, where we communicate, resetting that pillar. And I think that's what love seeing about brands now, is there's this swing back to defining who you are as a brand. So.
Awesome. Any questions in the crowd?
QSR has got so heavy in loyalty recently.
I was going to.
So I know you guys have a loyalty program already. QSR seems so heavily invested recently in loyalty, if only to get to know what people are ordering and be able to target the message. Can you talk a bit about what you guys are doing there? It sounds like customization is a huge part of the ordering process too. So,
well, QSR has always been a business where we have no idea who the guest is historically. I mean, it's used to be cash based, and so now I'll tell you right now, the reason why McDonald's is killing it is because they have 50 million names. And at any second, because this is what happens in a QSR, we're having a slow day. How do we pump up our day? All right, we'll just send a message to our 50 million people. And then they drive 2-3% of sales. And I think this is, it's nothing new. It's been in, I grew up in traditional retail. It's been in traditional retail. QSR is about 3-4 years behind. So we're all about capturing data, loyalty, customer information, and how we bring that to life. We just kicked ours off about a year ago. I think we have about 4 or 5 million names already, because people don't realize how many transactions we actually flow through a QSR. And so leveraging that and personalizing our communication is key. But I'll tell you, the reason why we have loyalty is to understand, like you said, but also change consumers' behavior. So we understand our guests, but then also influence them to do something different, and that's what we kind of leverage. And it becomes very interesting when we have slow days. I know my slow days. So I know Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are my worst days. I peak on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Shocking, we're a late night brand. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So then as I start looking at loyalty, we're starting to say, how do I drive people in Monday morning? How do I get that Sunday hangover crowd to say, hey, I want to go get some Jack today. Today would be perfect for a lot of people. So we use that data to really get them into different day parts, different products, and just change their behaviors. So.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi. You mentioned about the marketing push late night and trying to. Do you think about positioning your brand and the message around that late night spot and have you promoted that as such?
Wait.
So you're out there with messages.
Yes.
At a time of day.
Yes.
Do you think about brand positioning as your locations as a place to be, late at night?
Yeah. And everything, I'll tell you, like our late night push, just a little history of us too, as people don't know this. I learned this when I joined Jack. Our stores used to change colors after 9 o'clock. All our stores went from red to purple. I didn't even know this. I was a consumer. I was like, wait, oh yeah, the sign changes. That's crazy. And so as we go late night, I think, I'm not fully if I'm going to answer your question, but what we try to really do is how do we be really culturally relevant? How do we contextual marketing all the time? So we know when people are in Ubers after 10, you're probably drunk going home. We try to convince you to go get Jack. We try to get you to order third party. We have a 40-50% lift in delivery after 10 o'clock on third party. So then there's a lot of opportunity there for us to say, how do we switch on our marketing, really define who we are. Like I said, we're pretty consistent. I think our performance and being a stronger brand is because we are consistently marketing that kind of pillar. And we do it in a way for it doesn't interrupt our overall brand for the people who do come to us regularly. Like, we really target around bars. We target within a mile of our store. We target you in the moment to come and bring you to Jack at late night. So a lot of out of home.
Exactly.
So
cool.
It all ties together. Yeah. The question was, do I have an internal creative? We do not. We have external, but what I've brought in is a lot of social content creators. The one thing, I was on a group talking yesterday, we have literally given up our brand on social. We give it to creators. We give it to my team. I have eliminated legal from the entire process. Our goal is, if something goes wrong, we'll take it down. If we get sued, we'll take it down. But we're trying to be as authentic and real as we can. And so by putting our brand in social in the hands of creators and hands of our fans, it just naturally comes out. And what you're finding now is creators also care about their brand, so they don't do anything really crazy. And so we're really doing unique, quick things. And I think that's going to be the future, where brands just have to give up and just say, you guys tell us what, like, there's a song that went viral on TikTok of Jack and the Crack, which is a knock on us. So we just played it in the background of our spots. We're like, hey, it's fine. It's catchy. We'll play it. And people were like, oh my God, they're actually playing that song. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. So we were really accepting of who we are. We accept how the people really feel about us on social. We take that content, we put it up. And by the way, the Mark Hamill thing I forgot to mention, he used to work at Jack in the Box. We fired him. So before he made it big, he was working at Jack. It's authentic. He tried to be Jack on the voice box, and his manager fired him. So we brought him back for that. I learned a story that we didn't hire Will Ferrell to be Jack, and then he went on the Saturday Night Live, made some movies after that. So we have a lot of histories of authentic kind of engagements that we're going to bring to life, that we have and we still are going to do in the next year. So.
That's incredible. I think probably a perfect way to end this segment, too. Thank you for your enthusiasm, all this awesome ideation, and sharing all the good content with our crew today.
Thank you.